What's going on, guys? So today on this Shoky review, we're going to be taking a look at something new, kind of, from Bandai, and it is the 30-minute Sisters, this 30 MS, Sis Goo. I don't know if those are zeros. I guess they got to be zeros, yeah, so SISG00, so G00, so hey, it's a double O kit, technically. And this Rishetta, I guess, sort of. You can't really read it, and her knees are in the way. Like, come on, girl. We need to read your name. Seriously. Bandai Spirits, 2021. This is color A, so I'm guessing that means the specific color. So I picked this one up at Bedrock City Comics, I believe, in Houston, specifically the Washington area. And yeah, Eric has built a few of these, and a couple other people I know has built these, so I figured I'd check it out. So, interesting box art right up front. You know, it's a split off of the 30-minute missions lines, which we looked at a few of already. Unfortunately, I don't know where they're buried, so I couldn't pull them out. So, we're just going to take a look at her, at very least. So, that's it for the cover of the box. Let's go down here. So, Sis Goo. Seriously, that's weird. Rishetta, color A. Got the different faces. 3 tempo printed facial expression parts are included. That's pretty awesome. I always like that. And we got height is about 145 millimeters for those who are all metrical and stuff. I'm not. Joint parts connect the kit to action bases are included. Oh, hey, that's cool. And let's see here. Ring parts and various armor parts are included. So, armed mode. So, they do come with, or she does come with her normal mode, and then, oh, it does say normal mode, and then armed mode, which comes with a whole bunch of stuff and kind of a cat costume. And then you got customize. So, you buy a whole set here. Now, this one is different because that comes, let's see here. That's the option hairstyle parts volume 1 with different hair. And then you've got option parts set 1 speed armor. I do have that, so we'll be looking at it today as well. Come around there. All the same stuff. And come around here. And you got 30-minute sisters versus 30-minute missions. This kind of shows how you can borrow some of the 30-minute mission stuff, like the whole arm here. Just swaps in, no problem. And then you got BandaiHobby.net site 30-minute _sisters, nippers, you don't need either way. Cautions, got little things like that. It was $29.99. I assume it's slightly marked up because usually it's a little more expensive there. You got the little guy with toilet. Everything in there is polystyrene. That's good. No polycaps or anything else like that. And you've got illustration is by Humikane Shimada. Nice, but still upside down. Ha. Still managed to get it upside down, but it is what it is. So I got a little bit of dry mouth. Bear with me. And let's go ahead and get a look at her. Let's go. All right. And here is Rishetta. And I do have her on a little action basey thing. She does not come with this. I just put her on. It's the only one I have access to at the moment. And I did plug it in down here, and it's a little too big, kind of stretched out. That spot a little kind of sucks, but either way. So the main reason that I picked up this kit is because of the black, gray, and orange. I just really, really like that. Now the hard part is that it's definitely not the right orange on camera. It's one of those things where, like, it's hard to really match up what it looks like. Also, I don't think I ever realized she has kind of a Batman vibe going on. I'm going to go with that. Let's see if that looks a little bit nicer. It's really hard to tell realistically, but for these 30-minute sisters, they've got very interesting joints, very small, scary joints, if I'm honest, with some of them, especially like these elbows, but pretty good. So, let's look at her face. And this is the standard. This is where you zoom in and raise the camera, dummy. This is the standard face, nothing too crazy. She's slightly blushing. Eyes look very cool. I like her gray hair, which is another reason why I picked this one up. I don't even think I would like this one with a different haircut. Unless maybe it's like the longer hair, like very similar to the maid we did before. And she does have, I believe, just a ball joint mounted head for there. And a little ball joint here at the neck. She can move her head around a little bit, though you gotta be aware that sometimes her hair does get in the way. It does piece together because you can swap out the faces. We'll cover that here in a little bit. And be careful because every now and then you can pop her neck out of socket. The shoulders here are on a ball joint with a little bit of a butterfly that pulls out like that. It does tend to pop out on me, so like flexing the arm around like that. It's not very set in, so but it can come out. Hingy bit here for the shoulder. She can come way up there. She does have a bicep rotation right here at the orange. And single jointed elbow that's better than 90 degrees. And she can do a high teacher, as it were. Let me zoom out ever so much. And then if you turn everything here, you also get the kind of slant cut wrist for motion like this, and you can rotate it. It's one of those weird ones. So the hand moves, the wrist moves. It's just making sure they move together without breaking the wrist is the hard part. So it's very similar to how some other, not necessarily model kits, but even some figures tend to work. This is with the kind of backpack adapter here. So I'm going to take her off of that for the moment, so we can see her torso. So the upper torso here moves a lot, which is pretty good. I mean, like big old ball joint situation there. It's pretty cool. The lower torso does have some hip action as well, so she can do a lot of teapotting. Like, very nice pose wise. Works really good there. And then you do have these little kind of hip skirt thingies kind of covering up. And yes, very much a molded in bootay going on down here. Now, the hips are where it gets a little funny, because she does have very action figure-y hips where they can kind of drop down and she can do the splits. I don't think I can push it too much further than that realistically. And it makes her butt look very funny. Same thing if you turn the leg forward on that kind of diagonal cut there. Thighs are a little bit wonky, but it is what it is. So like I said, you can move it up and down, get the extra movement you need to. I don't know what's on there. All right, so thigh cut right there. Works out nicely. Double jointed knee for the full run. Works really good. And then come down to the ankle. Got a nice hinge, a pivot at the top, and then a foot rotation down at the bottom. And then she does have nice little shoesies molded in down there. So that's cool. I'll set the thing off to the side there. And we'll get her to stand on her own, which she can. The weird thing is that her feet are tiny and she doesn't weigh much. So, like, you could easily, she would probably very easily fall over. Okay, so I'll get the wifey's on her way home. You do get a couple of different faces. You get the very smiling, happy face that I just dropped all the way to the floor. That had some mileage on it too. Hold on. For a face, I think sure had some legs. Okay, and like you even got these like extra shiny cheeks. This is pretty cool, not gonna lie. And then you just have the very expressive, angry battle face, which I'm a pretty big fan of. Realistically, the kind of shy, the thing going on with the blushing kind of gives me little weird feelings. So take out the front of the hair. That's very similar to the way the May doll works. And go ahead and yoink her face off. You can see here, terrifying looking thing. And grab the next one, plug that in like so, And then plug that back on. And it looks like, funnily enough, like these side pieces should also move, but not so much. And of course, if one was so inclined, if you had an airbrush or something like that, you could easily shade the hair a little bit. But once again, I'm going with stock look here. Now, there's a buttload of parts. For right now, let's talk about the holding hands that she comes with. No, focus here. So if you have any kind of guns, any of the 30-minute mission weapons, she can totally hold those. Probably hold specific Gundam weapons too, in theory, since it is Bandai. And you do get left and right version of those. Now, you do get a ton of these armor pieces. Hold on, give me a second here. I'm trying to dig everything out. Now, here's another thing. If you have any 30-minute mission kit and you want to just add her head to it, this is an adapter to plug into the neck of said 30-minute missions thing. Like, you would plop, and then you stick her head in that. I kind of want to see if it works on a Gundam. I just happen to have a Grandpa Gundam laying right here. Ah! His head just came apart. Come on. Come on, Granddaddy. Give up your brain. There we go. Let's just see. Let's just see if this will work. I don't have any clue if this will. So that plugs in there nice. Okay, okay. Let's see here. Let's just pull the head off. Pull that off. Stick that in there. So, awkwardly. Yeah. Yeah, that technically can do that. Not sure that you'd want to, but you can. So pull that out of there. Let's get this Gundam head out of the way. Of course, it's not meant to scale with that in any way, shape, or form. So obviously you don't need that for that. So here's how the neck works. So I forgot to mention this. It's actually a ball joint with a hinge, which is pretty cool. Double ball joint with a side-to-side hinge, because the head itself doesn't actually have the ability to move that much. I do wish she had kind of a collar look to her. I think that would look a little bit better. So, give me a second. I gotta compile all this armor and stuff like that. Okay, so all of the stuff that we're going to add to her is out here right now. And this is all the stuff that comes in the box. Like I said, this is not the add-on kit. This is just what she comes with, so we know what we're working with. So one thing we want to do is, actually it's just kind of where we want to start. I want to pop the legs off, take off these orange spacers on the legs, and replace with these ones. Pretty simple, like that. You know, no biggie. Just kind of set those aside. And it doesn't appear to be like an up and a down. They seem to be the same way, so I don't think you can technically screw it up. There's no left or right either. So next up, we come up to the arms. I want to pull off these ones. A little harder, slightly tighter. Grab the shoulder or bicep peg. Go ahead and throw that up in there. Same thing with the other side. And now I assume that if you continually do this over and over, eventually things are going to get a little looser than they started out. So just be wary. I'm sure it'll hold together for a while, but, you know. And on a very basic level, that's just adding on what we're going to need for the moment. The other thing we can do and come down to the wrist and add these cuffs. Now's our chance to rotate this wrist where we need it, like so. And get our other cuff in here, like so. So now she's just kind of spiky, for lack of a better term. The other thing we can do, come up here to the crown, as it were, and pull out just that little gray piece right there, and replace with this little black piece. I think it goes that way so that it's facing forward. Kind of hard to tell I think that is correct. Nope, other way. Hard to look at it. I'm looking at black stuff on a black background. A little hard to tell sometimes, sorry. So turn it the other way, so that the flat side, you can see diagonal cut back here, flat side facing forward. We're making cat ears here, people. So there she is with her cat ears. Let's set aside all our newly renovated parts, like so. And, like, for lack of a better term, there's her, like, just next stage. And from here, let's just kind of build her out a bit here. So we've got shoulder pads that I can't pick up. So cute little shoulder pads. It's got 2 little holes in it. I don't remember. I assume it goes like that. Same thing on the other side. Guess I could look at the box for reference if I have to, which I have now thrown much further away. When we get to the next armor pieces, it'll become more obvious if we got it right or wrong, if I'm honest. I think I might have it backwards, we'll see. Okay, we don't really do anything with the wrists as they are, but we do something with, I'll take that back, we do actually. Okay, so the forearm blades go in here, so you have to kind of clearance this. There's a small hole and a big hole right there, so this has to go in there. So if you shoved this up too high, then you won't have room. So definitely be wary of that. So now we've got a nice blade on the back of the arm. Do the same thing on this side. And now I'm going to make the assumption that all of them essentially have the same body type, and these things are all fairly ubiquitous to each other, but even within the sisters line. The other thing that's different is their outfit, essentially, and the color of their skin, because they do have a few different variations within, which is actually kind of cool. Alright, now we need the kind of arm claws, which are interesting. And I want to grab this down here, I think. You can go either way, but yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, so that way it covers up her actual hands. I wish she had some expressive hands. All she has is the gun-holding hands and the fists, so no real crazy variation with that. And we can move stuff around there. And then we have these guys, which I believe go... Trying to remember. Either way, something like this, because you can move them around. Good thing is with having multiple holes, if you screw it up, you can always fix it. And then these guys, we'll tab in down here. Like so. And last and certainly not least, her crankshaft. Or her weird little cat tail. Which, even though the hole is at a diagonal cut on the backside, it plugs in a straight line, like that. So, this is basically her initial, like, cat mode kind of situation that we've got going on here. Let's get a decent stance as best we can. Because once again, those tiny feet... Oops. I moved the claw arm thing, but not the arm. Okay, so balance somewhere in there. Drop the hip down, rotate it backwards. Like, so this is the weird part about the way the hip works. Same thing with the feet. There we go. Planted pretty good. And there we go. Let me get a picture of that. That's kind of cool. Let me double check the box now that I can take a second to reach it. Actually, I have everything completely wrong. Okay, so not everything, but shoulder armors are actually supposed to be up like this. Oh, I totally missed a nub there. That's what happens when I build in a dark living room. Can't see that shit. So, like, that is how the shoulders, although they look fine this way, I'm not gonna lie. So that's one good thing about the 30-minute anything, is that you get a pretty good amount of customization that you can just, you know, fool around with. So these are actually supposed to go this way. My bad. Like that. And then these, I have them sitting high on the thigh. Technically, you're supposed to do this, like that. So, once again, customization, but like how it's technically supposed to be. You know? So, yeah, once again, those. The other thing is, working on black things, sometimes you can't see all the parts you're supposed to be manipulating. Now, these gray pieces in here will be coming off for our upgrades. So, let's go ahead and bring out all our new upgrades from the parts set. If I can get her to stand. Now she's being weird. Oh, because her feet are twisted. Okay, so there's all the option parts set with, well, the basic kind of stuff. There are a couple other things that are a little bit different that we're not going to touch on just this second. But, yeah, so we all these new added on bits and pieces. So let's actually start with the legs, because it's kind of the most we have to do. I actually want to pull the foot off, like so. And we have these new cat-looking feet that we'll plug in, like so. Make sure you get it all the way in. I think that's good. Make sure you get it. It's like, it's almost like a 2-click. It's like a click, click. Okay. So once again, like the feet, big old feetums here. And then these gray pieces on the front of the shins and thighs come out. And yes, they are just as finicky as they look. And just be wary, because you're probably going to lose them. I mean, if you're not going to do anything with them at all, then don't bother using them. But otherwise, you end up with holes in the front of her legs. And, you know, that's up to you. And so we want to take these parts, like so. Basically, we're turning her into kind of a tiger. That's really what it comes down to. Like so. Grab these. Come up here. Pretty easy to remember which way these go, because you have to clearance the knee. Clearance. So that's that. Then we're going to come up to the arms. Grab your now advanced claws. We'll plug in right there. I like the layeredness of it. I think it's pretty cool how they do this. Though that is not, doesn't feel like a very secure connection. Okay, like it just sort of feels like it's just sitting there. So there's that at the very least. New shoulder pieces, which the little hingey bit there goes up. It's like, sure it does. Sure it does, Shoky. Okay. So like that, and then like that. Why are you being weird? There we go. Why does it just... I guess that's right, because that's the only hole I can plug into, so... And then that's making up for the other thing there, so yeah, that makes sense. The only thing that kind of sucks is once you get all this armor on her, you really start interfering with the hair and stuff. You take the extra cat ear parts and just plug it on top of the other cat ear parts. And last but not least, I have a little sharp dealy-hoo for the tail. And it just plugs in like that. Now, I kind of wish they'd given you a posable tail, like a big hunk of wire, with just this little thing at the end to hold that. I think it would have been significantly cooler. Now, one thing that's interesting, a lot of 30-minute missions kit stuff does work off of these small hinge clips like this, so you can definitely clip stuff onto here, onto there. And, of course, sadly, I don't have access to any of my stuff from my 30-minute missions kits, or else I would definitely do that for y'all. let's see if we can get her in a very cat-like position. Get this arm up to the best of our ability. So once again, I say that part of the problem is the hair. It's like the hair starts interfering with all the things. So like if she wants to go for a swipe here. And then, let's see, drop the hip down, rotate at the thigh. Like the feet are a little limited, which kind of makes things a little weird. Also, you know, the obvious problem that I always have, that I'm working on a smooth piece of glass here. So I can get her in a really cool pose. Let's move that shoulder armor out of the way. There we go. So we can tilt her head a little bit. Get this shoulder up for a little bit more menacing. And just try to balance out the feet, which is not going to be easy. Once again, because of glass. But all the weight in her, there's no weight in the lower end of her, so it's like really difficult. Like I had her in like some interesting poses beforehand. I'm trying to get that leg like way out. But it looks weird, especially with that exposed thigh problem. So like the problem I'm having here now is getting that foot where I want it. I think that's close. I think that is very close to how I want it. So the ankle way out. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's plant this foot like that. See, these big chunky feet actually are harder to pose than the original. So there we go. Let's bring the camera down. So there's your lesson in posing as well. Like, it gets a little anatomically strange because she does have human type bits and pieces. But, you know, you can still make some stuff happen. So, it's pretty cool, not gonna lie. Of course, like I was mentioning before, it's not the orange that it's seeing on screen. I'm gonna have to do some color correcting. It is definitely a very different kind of orange. It's coming across very yellow and fluorescent right now. And I don't know if there's anything I can do specifically to deal with that on camera. But size-wise, I don't think I brought it in. So there she is next to a Gundam. Of course, she's not standing up straight, so not a good size comparison. But, you know, let's just straighten her out then. Really kind of mess with it. So she's, you know, taller than her grandpa by a good bit. Here she is. She's so light, and it's weird compared to Wally. You know, Wally, very similar colors. You know. Yes, Wally, this is a fembot. I don't have any other good comparisons. I'm sorry. I think, though, I'll probably put her on the stand to make any other good poses and stuff like that. But she's kind of a veritable Catwoman, as it were. Cheetah, or tigress. Like, get one arm down, one arm up. And once again, if you have the 30-minute mission armaments, you can totally make some stuff happen. In fact, you could give her robo legs. So this is the slightly more awkward bit. So she does come with new thighs, which is interesting, and you know, butt. And if you were to have, say, any 30-minute mission legs, or even, say, some Leo legs, that would work. You just plug this in here. You still need a spacer, like so. And then, whoop, once again, chuck it at the floor. If you don't chuck it at the floor, it doesn't count. You guys should know this by now. If I have to do it in a review, you have to do it in real life to make it work. Ah, there we go. I need like a little catch-all pan here. Okay, so this would be her right leg. So you would need to do that, pull those legs off, put these on there, and then you could actually use any of the 30-minute mission robot legs if you want to, and then of course you can swap the arms. So she could have a torso like a girl, and then have a the arms and legs like a robot, or it would look like armor, realistically, like some kind of crazy robot armor. And considering I have at least one black kit that I wish I could pull out right now, it would be pretty cool. It would be pretty cool. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this. If you have any of these kits, let me know which ones you got down below in the comments section. But I think it's pretty cool for my first foray into building like a robot cat girl, in a way. I actually did enjoy this build. A couple of weird fitment issues here and there where things don't feel like they're really solidly plugged in. I do wish she had a posable tail, but that's not anything that's too hard to make happen. If I really wanted to, I could just take a big chunk of wire that I've got from something else and make that happen in and of itself. Give her a nice, cool, long tail. Say, like, even from, I don't know, like a Barbatos lupus or something like that. Or Lupus Rex, where he's got the big old tail coming off of him. But these things are really good platforms for customization. I mean, you still have holes all over here on the legs. You got pegs all over here. You still got some pegs over here where you could really still add bits and pieces. The main thing I went for here was color coordination, and I really do like it. And for those guys who are into things probably a little bit more, they have like a bathing suit set coming out later this year. So yeah, you can, yeah, you know, you can make that one special episode version if you want. You know what I mean. But guys, that's going to be it for this review, and I will see you on the next one. Guys, another reminder that the MS-100 Take 2 contest is going, and if you need any info on that, I will make sure that I link it either down below or in the card up above if you're interested in joining in a new charity build contest, because it's a pretty open forum thing where something like this would actually be a pretty easy way to get in and really do some cool shit. So, but guys, I'll catch you next time. Remember, as always, keep on building.